Me goes to a warm place. Mosquitoes.
It's free real estate.
Hello, and welcome to... At the time I'm making this, summer is approaching, so I'm making 2 videos about vacations I've been on. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be like back to back. I might make the other one after 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 videos, whatever, but at least I'm making them. So this first video is not going to be as exciting as the second one, so get hyped for that one, but you gotta watch this one first. If you don't, I will fine you. And then I'll hold my water gun full of my cat's pee until you watch it. But the first small boy is Chicago. Chicago, home to the Navy Pier, Millennium Park, the Sears Tower, Shed Aquarium, and good pizza. What's that? Oh, that's the sound of angry New Yorkers spamming in the comment section about how their pizza is better.
Deep dish pizza is quite good.
So I've been to Chicago twice. The first time was in 2013, and we're going to talk about that first. So the first trip was actually my birthday present for that year. I was really eager to get to go to the city, and the day before I showed Dad the entire Expedia video for Chicago, even though he had already seen it. Dad, yeah, look at this video I found. I've already seen... Here we go. So I skipped school for a day. Haha, losers. And we got in the car. And like every little 7-year-old, I kept asking, are we there yet? Every 5 minutes. Are we there yet? Listen, if we were there, we wouldn't be able to drive at 70 miles per hour. In fact, we wouldn't be driving at all. And yes, I've had to deal with Chicago traffic. Trust me, it's annoying. In fact, on our last trip to Chicago, we were starting to go home, and I remember at one point I said, hey, look, the traffic's actually moving. And then, like, a minute later, we stopped. And you know what? It took us an hour to go 15 miles. The first thing we did while we were there is we went to the Shed Aquarium. And the Shed Aquarium is pretty cool, and I went and got a snow globe from the gift shop, which was pretty expensive. And the sad thing is, a couple months ago, I was in my room, and then I don't remember why the snow globe fell and broke. Not only that, but the city, like, it was a little snow globe of the city. The city, like, tilted. It was like this now, so there was no point in even using it if the city looked like this. So I had to throw it away. After that, we went to the Field Museum. You know, the one that has the giant T-Rex. That thing is huge, and I got a picture in front of it. But after that, we stayed in there for like a couple minutes, and then we left because I wanted to go to the Museum of Science and Industry. And the only reason I even wanted to go to there was for one reason. So I'm going to show you what it is.
Lakes region of the American best field trip ever. Here, you'll get to explore the inner workings.
Okay, right here. This was the reason why. And even more specific, it's for that. I was obsessed, and I mean obsessed back then with trains. I would make a video on this topic, but I don't think it'd be very long, so the best way I can explain it, I would buy all sorts of train models, watch train videos on YouTube, and all sorts of stuff. And I wanted to go to that museum, not for all the cool stuff they have there, but for that train model! We never did end up going to the museum, so I literally skipped out on the entire museum just for the... Later on in the day, we went to Navy Pier, and, you know, we did some rides there. It was pretty cool. After that, I wanted to go to the Willis Tower, but we had everything planned out, and we couldn't afford to go to the Willis Tower. So what we did, we got in the car and drove past the building. We were in the car for a good half hour just so we could say we drove past the Willis Tower. And then later on, we ate dinner with my uncle who lives near Chicago. And yeah, that was that. Now it's time for 2016. So the day before we went to Chicago, we took my dad to the airport at Cedar Rapids, which is where he was going to fly to Vegas. However, his flight was canceled that night. And my mom, she wanted to surprise me. So what she did was she used that as the opportunity to surprise me. All right, kids, get your shoes on. We're heading back to Cedar Rapids and taking Dad back to our airport. Dang it. You see, the day before, I had never actually, taken someone somewhere just to drop them off. Or at least as long as it did, because it took us several hours to get there. So I was pretty bummed out that we had to do that all over again, because Iowa, it's not very interesting to drive through. Well, unless it's Iowa City, which is a whole other can of worms and a topic I will probably make a video on one day, because it's really cool. So we got in the car and began driving. However, I started suspicious some things. You know those road signs they have where it tells you, how many miles away a certain city is? Well, I noticed in particular that Chicago's was getting closer. And I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure Chicago is not the way to get to Cedar Rapids. Mom, why does it say Chicago's getting closer? Oh, we're just taking a different route. No, we're not. And yeah, I figured out pretty quickly what we were actually doing. I didn't really say anything, though, until we were almost there. And, yeah, it was pretty cool. We went to the beach, which the water in Lake Michigan is pretty cold. And then we went to Navy Pier and ate lunch at Margaritaville. The food itself is alright. It's not the best, though. And then we did stuff at Navy Pier, and then we left. So yeah, that was Chicago. Still pretty cool, but not as interesting as what the next video is going to be about. And it is, drum roll please, and I can't afford drums, so I'm just tapping the wall. Disney World, woo, get hyped.